Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it is a beautiful day to be creating with you, and it actually is. The sun is shining. I have that extra light pouring into my craft room. I appreciate it so much because we are coming off of some really drab days. A little windy out there, so it's a great day to be on the inside. All right, I am working with the close to my heart Let's Go Anywhere scrapbooking workshop, and I have done an entire series of projects using this scrapbooking workshop, along with some others that I'm going to feature in a video that kind of shows you all the layouts that I've done after I've completed this one. So here we are, and I'm on my final two-page layout that I'm going to be doing with this kit. I like to purchase the kits and do my own thing. When I saw this one here, and you know, I mean, I love what they do, the pieces they come up with, but sometimes our brains just go off in a different direction. I immediately looked at this and said, oh no, that needs to be interactive. Big shocker, right? Those of you who have been with me for a while know that I love to add any interactive elements that I can. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put this together. I've done a little pre-work to save some time, and just to help. I am naturally a slow crafter, so I try to do that, you know, as I can to cut the video time down a little bit. Okay, so what I did was I created the pieces as the instructions, just the same way, punched those die cuts out, and went ahead and just glued them on. And then what I like to do is I like to take some washi tape when I have stuff like this, and any areas that I think they might catch on, I'm going to go ahead and put some washi tape down. Now, is this as important if I'm not doing what I'm about to do? No. But if you have any areas that there's some lift where you think you might catch sliding something in and out, I think you know where I'm going, you can go ahead and add some washi tape. You will never see it. All right, our base pages are the two toffee from the kit, and I've chosen to use the light side up for my layout. And then I've been using this brown marker. You can check out the other videos, but I use that brown marker to do some edging, and you'll see me do that. All right, so now after you've punched all the pieces out and you've glued them on the back, and really if you do them one at a time, they only fit one way, so that's kind of nice too, right? We're going to get to this point. Let's go ahead and grab some foam tape. All right, we're going to run our foam tape all the way across the bottom here. Oh, don't do that. So what happened was I pulled the foam tape I pulled it a little too tight. And if you do that, you're going to get a pucker. So it'll kind of pull it a little bit. All right. And now we are going to take some more of our foam tape and run it from here to here. So we're leaving the big part. This part here has currently no foam tape. Okay. I did pretty good on my guesses. All right. We'll cut that off. And then we need to do a little bit more. Right over here on this corner, we want to add a little bit of foam tape. I would say come up, you know, not too much. I have two pieces here. I know sometimes you guys like a measurement. So I blocked off not quite 4 inches, all right, if that helps. And then we want to take a little bit more foam tape and cap that off because we don't want anything sliding down in there. And then add a couple of other pieces of foam tape in there just to make sure that it's nice and stable, or because you love foam tape. It could be both. You don't have to pick or choose, everybody. All right. We're going to peel our foam tape off our backing. And if you pull it off correctly, it all comes off. All right. And you don't have to pull the little pieces in the center there, though. They're just there for reinforcement and to keep it from caving in. Okay, so we are going to be putting this down, and we want to let's get our paper in our grid of our Versamat here. We want to be about 1/4 of an inch, I believe. Let's just double check it. We want to be about 1/4 of an inch from the side and the bottom. And you know, foam tape is not super friendly. I am a little bit on an angle here, so don't press down until you think you're kind of where you want to be. I'm just slightly off. I'm going to use this bottom portion here to kind of give me, there we go. Okay, so now what we've done is we've created a memorabilia pocket. So if you go to museums while you're out, I might be up a little further than I want to be with that foam tape. I want to show you how to fix that if you are. This is big. I mean, a pamphlet wouldn't be this big, but this now becomes a pocket where you can stick some memorabilia items in your scrapbook. If you found that you came up a little too far, you can take the foam tape off. You can snip it with scissors. You can hit it with an anti-static pouch if you peel it back. I think mine's going to be okay now that I look at it. I'm here. This is going to be for a few items on my trip. I always grab these things, especially when I'm on a cruise. I keep my my airplane stubs. I keep all of that. And sometimes it's nice to just have a spot where I'll be able to put them in. The reason why we finished off the pocket a little here is if you just left it open, it would be too easy for them to fall out. By creating the pocket over here, you can put it in there, and it provides a little stability. All right, so now I don't want this to just sit like this. We're gonna add a couple of things to it. I have a 6 3/8, excuse me, by 3 1/4 piece, and this is gonna hold 2 3x3 photos on my page over here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll put this on, and I want it to be up a little high. But I want to, we're going to see the papers. We don't want to hide the papers or anything. So by putting it here, we can still kind of see that paper above it, but we can see this portion here, but we're going to be adding some pieces. So really just kind of keep it over this way so you can see that. This is going to cover that bottom portion up, but we'll still be able to see it on the side. All right, this is about 3/4. It's a leftover scrap. I don't know how long it is, but I will just go to your scraps and grab one. That's all we're doing. All right, and it's going to be at least the 6 3/8, and we want to make sure that we tear both edges towards us. White core paper, in order to see the white core, we need to tear it towards us. All right, on the side that you want it to be. Okay, I'm gonna grab my toffee ink. I'm going to lay it right here on top of my paperwork, my artwork and papers that we're never supposed to do. And I'm just grabbing my brown. I always do this, but you're not going to see it. So I'm going to try to save myself time. With creatures of habit, right? All right, I'm adding a little bit of this ink, and then I'm going to do something else with this. You can do this with a blending brush. You can do it with whatever you like. I'm going to come up in this upper corner and just kind of rub a little bit right here. All right, there we go. I'm just going to rub a little down here. See, I'm not going to be doing much to this because I have no idea how much of it is going to be covered up by whatever I put in there. A good example is we went to the Titanic Museum when we were in Canada, and I have a pamphlet from there. So things like that can go as part of my trip. All right, this really, I kind of want to shove it under here a little bit. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I tend to keep my adhesive away from my edges because I really do love to tuck things. Paper tucking is one of my all-time favorite little things to add at the end. Looking good so far. All right, I used the Scrapbook Stampin' Thin Cut set. It says I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. I loved this. All right, so I stamped it a couple times and it's a new stamp. And for me, new stamps, they're no. I love them. I love to get them, right? But they want to be used. They almost reward you for using them. So I stamped it off a few times because they just get better every time you use them. All right, this here, I just did on a piece of scrap paper. We're going to go ahead and cut that out. And the reason why I want to show you this is I'm keeping this at 2 inches because it's nice and easy breezy for me. And then I'm cutting it down. I'm going to try to get a good measurement. Let's see. 5 1/4 is a little too tight for me, so I'm going with 5 3/8. There we go. So I'll have this piece. Just cut yours out however you would like. All right, so I know this is 2 inches wide. This here, this is what I have left over because I did 2 projects with this using a 10 by 10 square. So what I ended up with was the frame that went around it. But we can still create nice backgrounds using these pieces. All right, and I'm going to show you a little trick. All right, so I have 3 inches, which is more than I need. This is going to result in a piece that's going to be bigger than I need. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3-inch pieces and cut them down. So we know that I'm going to want to turn this into a mat. I'm just going to hold them up because I'm going to cut the edges off of this all nice and neat and re-ink it, but I don't want to ink too much more than I need to. The only part that we're going to ink right now are along the long edges. I'm back in my toffee, long edges. And I could have used the marker for this as well. I might have preferred the marker. It's darker, and I tend to, once I start using, I go through phases. I don't know if you guys experience this, where I use the marker and I'm like, oh, everything's the marker, right? And then we go back to ink and it's, oh, everything's ink. What I like about the marker is how fast it is. All right, I am going to continue to just go ahead and do these both down the long sides. I love how fast the marker is. It's around my photo mats right now. Well, not the photo mats, the photo placeholders. There we go. All right, and when we go on this other page, we have a little bit more prep work to do. It's not gonna be another pocket. I thought 1 pocket was enough. We did not need 2. All right, I want to let this sit for a moment. So let's talk about our additional photo mats that we're going to need for this and move on just while that kind of sits. I have an additional 3 1/4, 6 3/8, holds 2 3x3 photos. I have a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 of both the Scarlet and the Passport. And even though it covers up a lot of the Passport, it brings in the entire color palette, so I love that. Then we had a whole 12 by 12 sheet left of this. Now we need to cut this off because I have some cards coming up that I want to share, and I'm going to need that anyway. So what I did was I once again, the entire thing, glued it just by the instructions. All right, let's remove this piece. We'll bring it back in a moment. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to flip this checkered toffee, is what they actually called for to use as the background for this. But I liked it for this idea a little bit better. So let's have a little fun. All right, we're going to go ahead and put adhesive on this. And I do kind of want to get the edges, but not this edge. I need this edge. I might have came down just a little bit too much on that. This edge here, we're going to put this on, but we want to leave this edge a little open right now. Method to my madness, don't worry. Well, I guess we could build it the other way, but it might seem a little more confusing. I'm trying to think of which way would be the best way. I think we'll do it the original way. So let's not, the original way I thought, let's not put adhesive along this portion right here, okay? Leave it open. I'm about 1 inch in, and we'll take care of that later. Remember, I have that checked toffee paper that is turned over. The other side is this white. And we're going to put this right down in the corner. And we want to make sure you are going to see the other side. So let's make sure that when we put this down, we get a really nice clean edge and that you're able to cover the entire back piece of this. Okay. We don't want to, overhang. All right, there we go. Okay, so now it looks like this. See, I have that little bit right there. I prefer I didn't, but guess what? My crafting is like my life. It's not perfect. All right, I'm going to use my close to my heart scissors. And I am going to see if I can get a good line going here. Sometimes I can and sometimes it doesn't work for me. You can use an X-Acto knife. You can pick it up and cut it. It's really up to you. See what you have going on there. Okay. Sometimes I have to do this and then I cut it with my scissors, but I find that I still end up with a little bit better of a cut. It's almost like a pre-cut. We'll see if it went all the way through or not. Okay, but see how I have this line now? That gives me a better guide to just cut on now. I don't always make it all the way through. And sometimes I'm able to kind of slide my knife up, but you know, or my scissors up, but you can also use your knife. I wished I had just grabbed my X-Acto knife. There we go. See, I'm kind of coming through on some spots. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off camera. You guys kind of get the idea. I'm going to be a lot faster if I just hold it up so I can see it on a really good angle and then just go ahead and cut through it. Okay, so now that I have my piece, I want to make sure I don't lose the point. I'm going to put this aside. This is actually becoming some background paper that I need for some cards that I'm going to do. Okay, so now we have this piece right here. And if you flip it open, we have this piece right here. Now I'm going to grab my pen. Here I can see I have like a little spot right there that I hit because we have that white core paper. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's do the inking since we did it already. I often find that ink can be your friend when you make mistakes. It's a great way to hide stuff, or, you know, it's not just for looks, although we do love the way it looks, right? We'll go all the way around. If you want to come back and add more ink, it's always so, you know, fun to even get messy. The other day I did a card and I literally put the ink on using my fingers because it had to go in a specific area. I don't know. There's something about having messy hands that makes me feel like I've accomplished more. I don't know. It just, maybe it's the visual of knowing that I was crafting. And this is one of the best things that I get to do on this journey, is share this with all of you. The best thing are the relationships and the people, of course. All right. I'm digging it. We're good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to implement this super strategic mechanism to turn this into a flip. All right, I have a 1-inch. Sorry, I had the wrong one. I have a 1-inch by 12 piece of French vanilla. I'm just going to line it up right on my cutter. There we go. And just, you can use your stylus, your bone folder, whatever. And we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. You want to get, you know, decent score on it. There we go. All right, here we go. Fold it in half. All right, so we had this little lip that we kind of left open, and you know, I didn't rub mine a whole lot so that I could have it. That is where this needs to go. So this needs to go behind this. That's why I said I'm not sure whether you want to do it, you know, which way to do it. What I like to do, it's already stuck because I had the one on the one side. It gets stuck pretty good in there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it back a little bit. There we go. I have like one little part. And I'm going to put adhesive. This is to the left of that score mark. And I'm putting adhesive way longer than I need it. Okay, so I put adhesive to the left of that score mark. And you might want to use liquid glue as well. I'm using a mat. You want to use something that is going to be able to pull off. I'm currently using my Versamat. Now I flipped it over and I put some extra adhesive on the right side. I'm going to peel it off my mat now. Craft mat also works well. Okay, so now I have adhesive here and adhesive here. So on the left side of the score, flip it over, some on the right side. And it does not matter if you want this all the way into that line, that score line, but it doesn't matter if it sticks out of the top or the bottom. By having the 12-inch, you don't have to line it up perfectly. I'm going to now like kind of slide this in here, just like this. Make sure that I'm at that score line. Fold that score line back. There we go. Some people, you know, if you're watching the video and you want to try it a different way, let me know your thoughts. Okay, so now what I can do is I don't want this portion up here, any of this portion that's stuck. So we're going to cut it this way. And see how that's a little long right there? we don't want that. So we're going to close it and we're going to then cut that V portion out of it. And then we want a miter cut. See how I'm sticking a little bit out of the bottom here? I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to do a miter cut, just coming in and cutting that little portion of a triangle off right there, kind of like how I have one there. Guess what? We're done. Look at this awesome flap that we've created. Isn't that cool? That's going to be super cool on our page. Okay, so now we'll bring in that toffee piece. Okay, and same as the other page. I'm going to grab a little bit and ink a little in this corner here. I tend to be heavy-handed, just to let you guys know. I'm going to ink a little here, and I'm probably going to add some additional ink when I add other embellishments. I'm not going to fully embellish this because I may want to personalize it a little bit with some things that are in the pockets, some of the memorabilia that I put on here, but we are going to do some embellishing. Okay, we want this to be super strong, so I'm going to use score tape. You can use score tape, you can use red line tape. It really is a preference. I'm going for 1/4 inch score tape, okay? I saw these, as soon as I saw these pieces on that, I just went interactive. I was like, gotta do it, right? All right. I've had a lot of fun creating with this collection. All the pages that I'm doing with this collection are for my upcoming trip. My husband and I are going to Spain. And I don't know, just felt like I was really going to enjoy these pages for those memories. So let's hope I'm right. Okay, it's about 1/4 inch from the side and the bottom, just like we did the first time. Rub, rub, rub. Here you go. Now, you might be asking about a page protector. If you want to put this on the outside of your page protector and put it on there, you can. But I have been making interactive pages long before I ever found a flip flap or anything else. I always just cut my page protectors, so I'm really comfortable with it. If you're going to cut your page protector, what you want to do is you want to cut your page protector not all the way at the bottom. Cut your page protector up here and leave intact the corner here and the corner down here. And then take that page protector and you can actually put some glue dots and attach them so that it stays with this. You don't have to cut the whole page protector out. You can cut the page protector and then make it so that you can still open the flap and that this is also guarded with a page protector. I hope that made sense. And if not, please feel free to just leave me a comment or a question. Okay, I have a couple things here that I want to add. Let's get back to those pieces that we made really quickly. We're going to line these pieces up and we're using the other side. So we're using this side. All right, I'm just going to line these up. And I'm going to grab some washi tape. You can also just use paper or, you know, whatever you would like to keep the pieces together. I'm always destashing washi tape. I have so much washi tape and I rarely use it in my projects. I've been saying recently that I want to go back and try to use it again. It's been so long. But I have about 45 plus rolls that I still need to destash. Now look what we made. We kind of made this planking piece and I really like that. For this one here, you guessed it, let's go ahead and get some ink on the edges of this. If you want to use your marker, you can use your marker. I've used inks. I've done clean pages with this. I've used the marker, so they've been all over the place. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. I'm going to come over the edge a little bit on this. I always call it grunging my stuff up. I kind of tend to like that. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of put this in the center of this. And so that when I cut it, we're going to only see that little bit on the side. And this is such a great way to get some additional use out of your papers. You can leave, you know, as much or as little of that, but look, you can kind of see on the side, it looks much more intentional now. It doesn't look like you put a piece together. I'm leaving, I'm going to call it a heavy 1/8 all around. Okay. But this way, it doesn't look like you put leftover papers together. It looks like you created something that you wanted. So it's a great way to get some additional use out of the papers you have. Okay, I haven't been everywhere. I do not want this to be mirrored from here to here. I want some variety. So let's go ahead and finish this off. We're going to add a few more details to this, but I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. I want to go right here on the front. Okay, and now we're going to open this up, and I want these two to go right here, kind of similar to what we have right over here. Make sure I'm good in frame, because I'm getting a little long now, right? Here we go. Okay, so these will come over here to match that. And if you want to cover this up, this is another area where you can just bring in some pattern paper to match that as well. All right, I'm up a little high with this, so here we go. So now I have kind of, it's bringing, you know, your eye all the way over. I have two photos. Now, this is kind of important. This is going to be closed. So we want this to look good closed, but then we also want it to look good open. I hope that makes sense. So you can kind of go two ways with this. I can do this one as my lower picture. Like here, I had them this way. See, I have this one as the upper picture, and this one is the lower picture, and you can see more of that picture is going to be covered. But by simply flipping the two pictures, it fills up the space a lot nicer, and less of my photograph is going to be covered. And I also like that it's over the picture a little bit. It kind of lets you know there's something else there. So I think I like the placement on this, and this is what we're going to go with. Okay, so we'll go a little lower with this one. I'm going to actually bring it lower than I even had it so that they're kind of both covered up a little bit. There we go. And it's going to work for where my journaling is going to go as well. Plus, give me a place for some bits up here at the top. All right, and then this one we'll put over here. They're less crossing each other now. I think that's going to look great. Okay, let's open it up. Now here I have a piece of the airplane paper, and it's 2.5 by 9. This 2.5 by 9 is going in here now, but I'm not going to be doing anything with it. This is where I'm going to put my journaling. So I'll type my journaling and put it on top of this piece after I've had my moments. Okay, for this piece right here, in case you don't like it, there's a couple of things you can do. One, you can just cut off the 12-inch piece so that, it matches and run it right down that. Or if you want to go with like a new piece coming in, any piece 12-inch you can put there. I do want to check. We had this one sticker left over, and it was this scallop, and I don't know that the scallop is going to cover it, but I'm just going to kind of hover it over it just to see if it's going to work for me. And yeah, because we did that 1/2 inch, it's going to fit in there perfectly. Don't you love it when that happens? All right, so I'm ignoring the edge, and I'm actually using this plaid, the plaid paper where that score line is, to be my guide. I'm going to go ahead and put that on here and just bring it all the way up. And there we go. And if a little bit sticks out, it's okay. There we go. So now I don't have that white piece sticking out as much. Isn't that nice? Okay, so there's a lot of top. Oh, I might have came over. I think I came over my score line, and this is a sticker. Let's see if I can pull it back just a little bit. All right, let's see. Where did I go over the score line? You want to make sure you're not on the score line. You are next to the score line. All right. So you'll see a little bit maybe, but we don't need to see too much. Let's see if I, second time's a charm, maybe. Let's see. There we go. Much better, much, much better. All right, I am going to trim off this tiny little bit of extra that I have at the top right there. This is really working out for me. So I really like this. I like the little piece that's sticking out that's right there. It's just more to let you know that there's something in here that's coming your way. All right, I have my stickers. Let's talk about a few things I have standing by. I have my something old. Remember, something old, something new. If you're new to this Facebook, or sorry, to this YouTube, you will know that we are currently using something old and something new with all of our projects because we're crafters, not collectors. So I have this really old canvas from close to my heart, and I found these epoxies, and I have no idea where they came from. So I'm going to see if I can work those in. And then also standing by, these came in the Scrapbook workshop, our paperboard die cuts. So I have some of those that I get to add and play with, along with I added some black and white bling. All right, let's go ahead and have some fun and do this. The first thing I want to do is what's good for one side is good for the other. So I have these little scraps of the plaid from the prior project. I'm going to just do a simple dovetail. And this one was 1 inch. It's a leftover, but if you have 3/4, go with the 3/4. If you want these dovetails to stand out a little bit, grab your ink and just add a little bit of ink to them. Okay, I'm going to be placing that dovetail there. Now, for this one, I need the dovetail to be smaller. So I don't want all my dovetails being 1 inch, and this is about a 1 inch dovetail. I'm going to rough cut it because I'm going to probably put it under. Another dovetail coming our way right here. Just trimming up the center for how deep I want it to be. Throwing a little ink on it. I'm even letting them get bent up a little bit if they want to be. And I'll have these 2 dovetails right over here. They might even just still be a little too long. There we go. I like to make it easy. I originally thought I was going to put the toffee on the top, but I'm not. I'm going to end up putting that jade. All right, right underneath. There we go. Grab the other one. Shove that under there too. That's the technical term, shove, right? Okay. I have these stickers left over from this, and there's a couple of arrows that are thinner than others. I've grabbed this green one, and I don't think I'm gonna like that one. Let's go ahead and look at maybe this dark gray one. I think I'm gonna put that right down here, and we're gonna put it right here. There we go. I am liking that. There's a little heart here with that same color. I think I'll go with the red one instead. I have loved using scarlet with this. I have to tell you, every chance I get, I'm all about the scarlet. Right inside the arrow there, we'll add that. And then there's still a little words that I haven't used. This one says fly away with me. I wished I had used that on another layout. Road trip, scenic route, away we go, weekend getaway. I'm gonna do scenic route. It's gonna fit right over here. I'm gonna put it at the top actually. There we go. Have that little scarlet with the scarlet. There's no surprise that I'm liking that. There is a little toffee stamp. I'm gonna put that right over here with it. I think I'm gonna go this way, but foam tape. This is telling me it wants to be on foam tape, not because I need foam tape. My artwork is speaking to me. Let's see. Here we go. Foam tape. And we're going to add that. I definitely think there'll be room for you to add some additional embellishments for this. Just because there's going to be room after you add whatever your little bits and everything are. Right up here, there is a nice space, and I think that we could do something with that. Now, I have the epoxy, but not what I'm looking to add. All right, so for our canvas that I have right here, I'm going to be using some sapphire ink. And I am going to use the little airplane stamp that has came on that Stampin' Thing cut set. We're going to see if I can get a good stamp on this or not. It's a new stamp. I think I'll stamp off a few times. Remember, our stamps are happier when they're used. There we go. Okay, and we're just going to go down. And I'll do like a few extra moments so that the ink can absorb into the canvas. And there it is. So great. Ta-da! Okay, really nice. Really, really nice. I like that. And that's going to look great right under this French vanilla. We're going to let it dry for a couple minutes. And then I have the same pieces left over. So on this side, I'll do the toffee and the canvas because I already have that green right there, but we're going to let that sit for a moment and we're going to go ahead and up here, there's a wander that's left. Same thing. I'm going to grab my foam tape. Let's try to get my mats straight for you. There you go. Crafting hard at work. They end up sliding. Little anti-static pouch there to get the sticky off. All right, I'm going to want to add more than the wander. This is where I want to bring in some of these die cut bits. So I have this, and I know that I'm going to want to put one of those over here. I really like those X's, but I'm thinking I might go for 2. But in addition to that, I'm going to grab the little geo marker. I'm definitely going to be using these, and there was this sticker that I pulled out and ended up not using. So I want to build a cluster up here. I save these because I use them for stencils sometimes. I will stencil something, and then if you stencil this, for example, you can then just slightly turn it, and you will be able to see the stencil underneath of it. It's just like a little thing. Okay, so I'm going to have this. I want to build a cluster. I'm going to have the wander. I'm going to have this. I'm going to add some bling to it, and I think I'm even going to have enough room to add an extra little piece. Possibly. I don't know that. I think we're barely going to see that. I'm going to add this one to the corner up here instead. That's just right off of the sticker sheet. There we go. All right. I think I'm going to leave this like it is. So I have no foam tape on the compass piece. All right, this gives us a lot of different dimension. And I'm even thinking I'm going to tuck that behind my photo mat so that it comes out like that. And then I have the wander on foam tape over my photo. And now this little guy here, our paperboard, I call it a geotag. I'm sure it has some official name that I've been told 5 times now by one of our group members, but there we go. And this helps to extend the layout. Bring it up, fill in that space. We're also going to add some bling around that in just a minute. I'm going to grab one of the paperboard file tabs for right here. So I have a file tab here. Now I'm going to add another one right over here, just on top, not tucking it. There we go. And I don't want to add any more words, even though the words would fit nicely here, because this is kind of my title. So I don't want to do that. There is a little passport and a heart left. And I think that those would be kind of complementary right over here. So I'm going to add the passport on an angle. And then for the little heart, I'm going to cut off a tiny piece of foam tape. We don't need a whole square on that. And I can add this little heart, just adding some extra little bits that really bring in details. I feel like I'm done. This is great. Okay, I'm super happy. Let's go ahead and do our 2 little dovetails on the bottom of this. They should have sat long enough now. Same thing, just from your scraps. Whatever scrap, oh, I want the other one. Whatever scraps you have. It can be really small. Now this one is going to be bigger, but I can still trim off the top. I'm just going to go ahead and trim a dovetail. And we did add some ink to the first one. I thought I was going to make it through the video without you guys hearing a plane or a helicopter, but I'm not sure if you caught it. It just came over. It's the running joke. If I go to video, they start, I have an air school, a small airport and a flight school that is not too far from my house. So it's always nice to watch the planes on a nice afternoon. All right, so we'll put a little bit of that on there. And then what I want to do is I also want to get some ink on this as well. I don't know why I'm cutting that. Let me just cut that off. keep just the same thing. Now for this was something that I got to use out of my stash, what worked for me, but you could make this very easily just using a piece of French vanilla. Just grab a piece of French vanilla and all will be well. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and put these under the part over here. And what I want to do is move them to the opposite corner. Oh, I actually wanted to use the toffee instead of this, but this is done. So let's flip it over and use the blue instead. If you caught it and you used the toffee, there you go. You'll have that nice little toffee piece there. All right, I'm gonna move this in. And then this one's I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. It's a little long. And this one's gonna go right next to it. Oh, I guess I didn't rub that. There we go. And now we have a couple more dovetails on this side. Don't they look great? Okay, let's add some bling and we are done. I'm feeling really good about my final project. Now, one of the things that I did is I had brought in some of these black bursts that I had been using up. But unless I pull out another pack, I just don't have enough of them. So I'm going to switch over to using some of these black enamel dots out of the black and white dots. But use anything that works. Use anything you have in your collection. Pull anything out. These were not part of the kit, so they're an extra. All right, I'm going to start with a big black star right there. And I'm going to go with a medium dot right up here. There we go. I have a large dot that's going to I'm going to play peekaboo with it up here. There we go. Medium star to kind of go off a little bit from it. There we go. And over here on the other side, I'm going to add a large star and a small star. And I think that's going to do it for me. All right, guys, there we go. Okay, so this is my final project with the Scrapbook Workshop from the Let's Go Anywhere collection. This has been a great collection to work with. I really have loved it. So over here, you have your pocket for your memorabilia to be able to put in there, and that's going to add some color and almost theme it, because you know some of those have a lot of pictures and everything, but you still have pictures that you get to have from those places. Then you come over here, same thing, you get to record those memories, and you have all of this right here. You could even put more in here if you wanted to, and then you have this nice area down here. Type up your journaling and put it on there. You know what, I think I am going to quickly add another one of these just for consistency to this one here as well. And if you want to go in and add a couple of dovetails, I think I kind of forgot about that as I was going. We can add a couple of dovetails. I'm going to grab an extra one of these canvases. And I'm going to put that right here. I'm not going to stamp it. And an extra one of these. And this time I can use that jade topography side that I like. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I opened it. I would have totally forgotten about this until I went to do it. There we go. And we don't want to forget to add a couple of pieces of bling while we're here as well. So I'm going to grab, this is the one I was using here. All right, so I'm going to do, I think I'll do the medium dot. This is a good place to put a word. We're going to do the medium dot and the small star, and then let's go ahead and grab this. We have Away We Go, Weekend Away. I'm definitely not doing a weekend away, but we have a See the World. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that See the World on here and see if it fits. I need to trim it a little. So if you're putting this on there and you want to fit before you go in, trim it down a little bit tighter. And then I will grab these, and then we'll see if I'm actually done. There we go. And now the See the World fits, and it's going to look great. There we go. Now this layout feels complete. Let's go ahead and take the final look. And you can see all the details here. We have dimension. We have all of that from all those layers of paper. We have our little cluster that's right here. A little ink there, I wouldn't mind so much. If it ended up happening, it's a-okay. This one here, we have that pocket. There's just a lot here. Okay, so now we have our layout, we have our pocket for all of our memories, we have our pictures, we have our spot for our journaling, and you're going to, if you cut it right, you might even see a little bit of the words sticking out. That's what I'll do. You want people to know there's something behind here. It's not a surprise pocket, it's a please open me. There you go. I really hope that you guys like the interactive play that I've added to this final layout with this particular collection. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. A lot of times when I'm doing these projects, I always joke and say they only exist in my mind, but they actually do only exist in my mind until I make them with you. So thank you for sharing this crafty time with me and letting me be part of your crafty process. If you found anything in this video inspirational or you liked it, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. These are things that really help me out here in the YouTube community. And if you leave me a comment, I'll be sure to get back with you. I love when you guys stop by and say hi. You guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.